Hey, and welcome to my Monday evening. So I'm actually currently just waiting for a video to be uploaded. My room makeover video is finally going live. After ages, it is now being uploaded and I'm just waiting for that to finish. It's taking a while, and I thought in the meantime, while I'm waiting for the video to be uploaded, I could pick up one of the books that I need to read in October, one of my October TBR reads. So I have here Nightbooks by J.A. White. It's actually currently very late at night. It's like 11 p.m. which means that it's dark outside, obviously. And if I understand it correctly, this is actually like a middle grade horror book, or like a middle grade... I don't think it's a thriller, it's not a mystery. Maybe it's a mystery? It's like a middle grade spooky book, basically. There's gonna be like scary moments in here, but it's dark outside. So this could potentially be like an interesting combination. Does anybody still remember that one time I tried to read Ninth House at night? Like, mistakes were made at night, and I have a feeling they could also be made tonight if I pick up this book, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So yeah, Nightbooks by J.A. White. This is actually a story about a kid named Alex, and he gets like kidnapped or like something by an old woman into her apartment. Basically, he's like locked into her apartment with no way to escape, and then he tells her a horror story every single night. So it's basically like a retelling of the 1001 Nights, or like the Scheherazade story, but like with a twist or something, because it's like a young kid and he tells... the woman is called Natasha, I think, because it says Natasha back here. He tells her like horror stories because like apparently Alex is obsessed with stories. He really likes scary stories. He's liked them his whole life. So yeah, he takes advantage of the scary stories and tells them to Natasha to keep her like satisfied. I don't exactly know what her intention with Alex is, which I'm actually excited to find out. So yeah, Nightbooks by J.A. White. I'm gonna give this one a try. I really am excited to actually start reading it. Oh, it has a black first page, which is interesting. Oh, there is like a very big keyhole, so that is interesting. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he's trying to steal a key from this Natasha person. Alex is trying to like steal one of her keys that unlocks the door to her apartment or something. This is actually really cool because all the pages in the beginning are black, so that is actually really cool to see. And then it's over, then it's back to white, but like the beginning pages were all black, so that was kind of cool actually. Let's see, let's go through the chapter content here. So the first chapter is The Wrong Floor. Oh, so does it happen that Alex actually wanders into Natasha's apartment by accident, like on his own? It's not a kidnapping case, it's more like a lost boy case. Oh, that is interesting. So then the second chapter is The Voice at the Door. Oh, it's definitely a lost boy thing. So he like knocks at her door and then she like doesn't let him leave or something. Okay, the third chapter is The Thing Inside the Backpack. Lost dog in like parentheses. Don't know what that could be about, honestly. So The Thing Inside the Backpack. A lost dog. I have no idea what that is. Fourth one is A Room of Dark Wonders. Oh, this sounds interesting. Now it's getting kind of mysterious, hard to tell what it's gonna be about, but those titles are quite intriguing. Okay, let's do the last one. Chapter 5 is named The Other Prisoner. So apparently there's gonna be another prisoner, which I think I actually did read in the back on the synopsis. There's also a Yasmin. Oh, so there's an Alex, a Yasmin, and a Natasha. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. Apparently there's gonna be two kids there, the prisoners of Natasha, and Natasha really likes stories. Alex's only chance for survival is to keep Natasha satisfied. Okay, so that makes it even more interesting. There is gonna be a couple of kids, Alex and Yasmin, and Natasha, the old witch, or the old woman, the old evil woman. It's really dark outside. Like, it's really dark outside. What am I doing? Okay, let's read this. Video and then I just kind of stayed up more to read Nightbooks because I really wanted to get through the first 5 chapters, which I already kind of theorized about. And about the first one, it's definitely a case of the lost boy. You know, Alex wants to get to the basement of his like apartment building, but he gets to the wrong floor. So he kind of starts hearing the sounds of like his favorite movie, and there's like some sort of magic going on that kind of invites him or like forces him to go to the apartment and knock on the door. And of course this witch opens the door. Natasha is a witch, kind of collecting children. I don't yet know with what intention, but it's weird. Okay, so yeah, honestly the story so far, more than like the Arabian Nights. I realized I was wrong about the title. It's not like 1001 Nights, it's the Arabian Nights is the title of the original story, so sorry about that, that was my bad. But more than a retelling of that fairy tale of like the original story, it more feels like a Hansel and Gretel retelling. Like there's mention of food and like this woman kind of inviting this boy into her house and kind of like looking at him and like assessing his body, whether it would be kind of like whether it's in good shape. It's kind of like Hansel and Gretel moment, you know, like the old woman or the old witch trying to fatten them up, that kind of thing going on. Like once he starts telling the story, it's definitely more the Arabian Nights feel, I guess. So yeah, there's been the first story already and it was like decently scary. I definitely had chills for a moment. I definitely started doubting I would be sleeping tonight at all. But like there was like a peak in spookiness, and then it fortunately kind of like calmed down a little bit, like the scary story itself. And it was about a dog, so it was doubly scary, because anything like when pets get scary, it's like double scary, because pets are the biggest comfort in the world. Like pets are the best. So when you make pets scary, it's just messed up, you know. So yeah, I don't know, it's so far it's been pretty interesting. It's very American though. Like imagine this book just being a fairy tale, but like all the main characters are New Yorkers. So yeah, that's been going on so far. I've actually like annotated a couple of things in the story. One of them just being like the witch, you know, the evil witch saying like whatever. Because it just sounds so American, like the whatever. Sounds very American. And then there was an instance when she also said like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, or something like that. Once again, just so American. So yeah, it's kind of like a fairy tale, but American. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. There was this one cool quote though that I also annotated. It's like Alex, actually the scary stories that he's telling Natasha are his own stories, so he's coming out with his own scary stories. So when Alex tries to explain this dog story to Natasha, he says this: "It's my story. My friend found this dog one day and I got to wondering, what if the Grim Reaper had a pet?" Oh my god, yeah, like the short story was definitely really good as well. It genuinely got scary for a second. So yeah, that was the first 5 chapters of Nightbooks, which I think is like the first 50 pages read for the night. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here for right now. And I'm gonna continue on tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day, it's Tuesday, and it's pretty late at night once again, but I want to continue reading Nightbooks by J.A. White, because I had quite a lot of fun last night. Like, it was a fun little experiment. I'm kind of thinking I want to finish reading the book only at night. So yeah, I have the book right here. So here it is, the lovely book. So as I said last night, I got through the first 5 chapters, and that was like the first 50 pages or so. So today I'm gonna continue reading chapter 6. And this one is titled The Misting Room. So yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. I don't know what that could be. There hasn't been any indication of like a misting room, so I have no idea what it means. But I'm sure it's gonna be interesting. And I can't wait to actually reach the point with the next scary story, because last night, like honestly, it was pretty scary. So I'm kind of interested to see what the next one is gonna be about. So yeah, the next one is gonna be called Mr. Boots. So I hope it's not another pet one, because scary stories about pets are pretty scary. But yeah, so chapter 6, I'm gonna continue reading the book and I'm gonna let you know how this goes. Pray for me. scary pets. It's scary toys. It's like scary stuffed animals. That is absolutely terrifying. And that short story was freaking terrifying. My god, I literally got chills. So yeah, that was a good one. That was definitely a good one. That was a good scary story. So, oh my god, the ending of that one was just insane. I'm definitely not sleeping with any stuffed animals tonight. Even this robot is giving me the creeps right now, and it's just like a pillow with eyes. Oh my god. But okay, on to the next story. Okay, so I think I'm done for tonight. I got up to page 130, which is up to chapter 11. And the story is just getting really good. Like, besides the scary stories, there were actually a couple in this part that I just read. I feel like the scary stories are definitely getting creepier along the way. Like this last one, The Shape in the Mirror, was definitely quite scary. Like, the scary stories are kind of like classic, you know, they have the classic scary story elements like the mirror or like the teddy bear and the dog in the first one. They are definitely like, they feel like very classic. I don't know, I'm not really familiar with scary stories, but it seems like they have like pretty popular elements, like scary story elements. So that's been a lot of fun, and like they're definitely super creepy. I've been creeped out this entire time. But besides that, the story with Alex and the apartment is developing really well as well. Like this whole apartment where Alex is trapped is just starting to feel pretty magical. It's like a world of its own. Like inside this apartment there seems to be like this whole world on its own. So we have like this really cool sounding library, like this really big library full of fairy tales that Alex is currently like going through. And there's like also this place with a lot of like witchy plants that just sounds really cool, honestly. So yeah, it's the way the apartment is like slowly built and revealed, like everything that's going on in it. It's just really cool, you know. I love what J.A. White actually created with that. So yeah, I quite like it. And besides that, the characters, the more it's revealed about them, like the more interesting they get. There's so much going on with them. Like Alex, obviously he's really into scary stories. He's really into scary stuff, like scary movies. He comes up with all these creepy stories, so he's always felt like he's like different from other people, like an outcast, because you know other people don't really understand his fascination for everything scary. So he kind of feels like he's very weird and different from other people, so he kind of hates that about himself, and he's trying to change himself, like all these creepy thoughts that he has and all these creepy stories that he's coming up with. So yeah, he doesn't feel like he belongs in, or like he fits in with other people say. And now suddenly he's at this apartment and he has this person who is fascinated by his stories. Of course there is a part of him that kind of feels like accepted for the very first time. So yeah, it's just, there's such a huge conflict, you know. It's so cool to read about that, and how, you know, Alex's struggle between having his stories heard and enjoyed and just wanting to like get the hell out of here. So yeah, and then we have Yasmin, who just is honestly a mystery. She's just one big question mark so far. And of course Natasha, she's actually, I know she's supposed to be like the villain of the story, but she's actually kind of cool. Like, you know, that the weird aunt that probably everybody has one. She's kind of like that character, that weird aunt character that's into like a lot of weird stuff. So yeah, this book is definitely super enjoyable. It's a great one to read at night. Like, beside the scary stories, the rest of it is actually like pretty decent, very atmospheric. There's definitely this kind of creepy atmosphere to it. A lot of like fairy tale references, I want to say, but it still feels very contemporary. So this book kind of reads like a contemporary fairy tale celebration story. I don't know, there's like little mentions of things that kind of remind of like classic fairy tales, like the Hansel and Gretel story. I feel like there's a lot of little elements in here to kind of remind of that story. So yeah, it's super cool. I don't know, it's real good so far. I'm gonna continue probably tomorrow. It's going pretty fast. It's quite fast-paced, which is good as well. So yeah, for now I'm up to chapter 130, and I'm gonna stop here because I know the next chapter actually has another scary story, and I really don't want to finish on a scary story. So I'm gonna finish here, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen tomorrow. now day 4, I think. It's the 4th night of reading Nightbooks by J.A. White. I did read just a little bit last night actually, but I was so tired I didn't really feel like vlogging, so I just thought I would update you right now on how far into the story I got. I'm now on page 190, which means that like that's pretty far into the story, so the stakes are just getting higher and higher the more the story progresses, and that means it's just getting a lot of fun. The focus of the story is definitely shifting more from like the scary stories onto the story happening between Alex, Yasmin, and Natasha. So I feel like that isn't as scary as like the short stories in there were, but it's definitely a lot of fun, and like the stakes are definitely super high for pretty much all of the characters, you know, so it's just getting really interesting and it's really enjoyable. Like now Nightbooks is actually like a decent middle grade story. It's more fun than it is scary, which is also great for any like spooky wannabe lovers, I want to say. Like I'm a spooky wannabe lover, and like that's definitely fine. There's people who can handle scary stories and there's people who just can't handle scary stories, and I fall into the second category for sure, and like it's fine. So these type of stories are like just my cup of tea. I've definitely been like scared throughout the story and like genuinely spooked to the point where I had a dream about like the story. It's just like the perfect dose of scary without it being like terrifying. You know what I mean? So yeah, this book is quite genuinely like perfect for any spooky wannabe lovers that are scaredy cats but wanna act tough. So yeah, that's what Nightbooks is. And I'm now gonna jump back into the story. Okay, so my camera cut me off and I have no idea what I was saying before, but I'm just gonna get to reading now. As I said, I'm currently on page 190 on chapter 15. So yeah, I'm gonna jump into that and I'm excited because there's some things about to go down. And like, judging how much of the book is still left, it's probably not gonna succeed, but it's still gonna be fun to see. So it's actually getting pretty late. It's now already 1:30 in the morning, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. I got up to page 256, so yeah, I do have to admit that this part of the story was way more intense than anticipated. I think through like the middle part of the story is really easy to like fall into this like false sense of security of like things not being scary anymore. And then like there's a short story that just hits so bad. It's literally terrifying. It's probably one of the worst, like one of the like scary story concepts that I'm the most scared of personally. So it was a lot to read. Oh my god, it was terrifying. I still have chills from that short story, and like it's been a while since I've read it, so yeah, that was scary. But you know what, the book is just getting really good, and there's plenty of like fairy tale elements still getting woven into it. It's so good. I don't know what to tell you. It's actually really decent. So I'm actually gonna go to sleep now, and I'm probably gonna finish the story tomorrow because there's not much left now. Only about like 40 or 50 pages. So only the finale left, and I'm excited about it to see how everything's gonna wrap up and what's gonna happen with all the characters. Okay, here we are, day 5 of reading Nightbooks by J.A. White. It's also gonna be the last day because I just realized I only have like less than 50 pages left of the story, so I'm basically just reading like the closing chapters now of how everything is gonna be resolved and how everything is gonna be wrapped up. So I'm really excited to jump back into the story, especially since at the point where I finished last night actually it was a bit of a cliffhanger, so it's just been absolute torture waiting around all day to actually start reading the book again and see how everything is gonna finish off, you know. So yeah, I'm really excited to jump back into it, and I'm just gonna get to reading now so I can check in with you after I finish the story and tell you how everything went and how everything is resolved and whatever, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna go and read and I'm gonna talk to you later. Okay, I finished Nightbooks and oh my god, this book turned out so well. That ending was honestly so satisfying to read. It went a lot quicker than I expected, which was also really good. And I feel like the more toward the end that we got, the more kind of fairy tale-esque it got. There was a new kind of aspect introduced that I won't reveal obviously because it would be spoilery, but it was so good, like very fairy tale-esque, and it was just so good. Honestly, I would really highly recommend this book if you're like looking for a spookier middle grade, like a scary middle grade. This is definitely a good pick. I would highly recommend it. It was so good. Very well written. The main characters were all amazing. Oh my god, it had an amazing set of characters. Like Alex and Yasmin, both amazing. A lot of representation. Yasmin is actually a Middle Eastern character, and Alex is described throughout the story as being fat. So we have a lot of representation there. And there's a cat. I mean, the cat is like the witch's cat, so she's kind of the villain, but like she's a cat, so we just gotta love her. She's called Lenore, by the way, and she's just the most amazing character in here. Probably my fave, honestly. She was just so badass. I love her to bits. So yeah, Lenore. Then there's also like the fairy tale retelling, which honestly I would call this more like a Hansel and Gretel retelling than the Arabian Nights. It does resemble Hansel and Gretel a lot more because of like the being trapped in the apartment and being tricked into the apartment in the first place by like the appearance or like something about the apartment. So yeah, definitely more like Hansel and Gretel vibes, but like then with the stories, it's also like the Arabian Nights. I don't know, it has like a good mix of fairy tale elements, so definitely also good for that. I don't know, this just honestly surprised me this week. I didn't expect to enjoy this book so much, but I ended up loving it so much. Like there was not a boring moment in here. There was action all the time, or like just something happening all the time, or like some magical elements and stuff being, you know, described or done that just was so interesting. So yeah, this was just a really good book. I would highly recommend it if you're looking for like a scary middle grade. This would be a great pick. So yeah, that was Nightbooks by J.A. White. I had so much fun reading this book this week. I hope you guys like check out this book as well, or if you have read it, like did you like it? I'm so curious by who else has read this book. I haven't heard about it before, so I'm curious whether other people have picked it up as well and enjoyed it, or you know, whatever. So yeah, that was Nightbooks. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was fun in some way. I don't even know. But yeah, I really hope you're having a good one. I'm gonna talk to you guys down in the comments, and until next time, bye bye.